you just want to briefly, just for people who look at this and hadn't seen your earlier thing, would you like to very briefly just say where you've come from in terms of your journey? Because it really is extraordinary, Marcus. I've tried to picture you on a street corner in the depths of where you come from and seeing you as you are today.
Do you know, I met somebody the other day that pulled me out of a toilet in Northwich, overdosed, and he remembered me. And it must have been 15 years ago or something. But, you know, all these things, oh, God, I forgot that even happened. Because a lot of the times, I know it was my life, and sometimes it doesn't feel very long ago. And other times it feels like someone else's life, you know, like, because my world is so far apart from that. You know, I was a skull on a stick, you know, back then. There was nothing to me. But I got into drugs at quite a young age. You know, I won't go right back, but you know, there was
no. Just give them a flavour.
There's a progression through the rave scene in the 80s and 90s that kind of took me into heroin in about 91. After my first jail sentence, I got so young at 17. And I can remember that the first time I tried it, it was I was with a friend called Nathan, and he was all, you know, he was a grade A student, had his head screwed on, he was going places, and we were given it by a couple of friends, and I didn't want to take it, but Nathan had it, and I thought, well, if you know, Nathan's clued up, if he's having it, it can't be that bad. Nathan had to go, and I had to go. Nathan never had it again. I didn't stop for 25 years. And that 25 years of addiction, heroin, you know, the smoking and injecting, and kind of many years on crack cocaine as well. And the desperation that brings with it, and the chaos is incredible. And that led to homelessness and additional more prison. So yeah, in a nutshell, my life has been heroin and crack addiction, vast waves of homelessness, prison sentences, lots and lots of violence, and just pure abject distilled misery.
And then the things started to change. Are there sort of real moments that highlights in your journey, briefly? I mean, no part of your journey, obviously.
My last prison sentence saved my life. Looking back, it was an intervention to where I was, because at the end, before that prison sentence, I was, you know, I was involved in a conspiracy to supply, and because I had a lot of drugs at hand, I was taking a lot of drugs. I never made any money out of drugs. It was, you know, I'm not a big time dealer, or wasn't, and there was, I was mostly just a street heroin addict. But my high in the end became overdose. It wasn't really about the drugs so much anymore. It was about the oblivion. So if I was putting crack cocaine and heroin into a syringe, and the liquid was so thick it came out like a worm, pretty much, like treacle. It was so thick, and I put that in me. And if my eyes didn't go in the back of my head, and I had an epileptic fit, and I didn't feel like I felt like I'd been ripped off, and there wasn't really anywhere to go from there. There was no, it was just death. It was like, you know, you kind of, it kept feeling like I was seeing how close to death I could get and come back, really, without knowing I was doing that. But that was my high. That was there was just nowhere left to go. And fortunately, I got arrested in a big raid, and yeah, I can remember being in prison on my first night, and it just felt a relief that, oh, full stop. Okay. Because I was getting involved in gun crime, and I'm not like that. You know, I
Mm.
was with people from Manchester, gangs that I'd kind of been sucked into, because at that point you become vulnerable and used, really. You know, kind of,
Mm.
and yeah, all of a sudden there's 12 balls going off around me, being pointed at people's houses. I'm, you know, and this is, you know, luckily very shortly after that we're all arrested, but yeah, I can just remember being in prison and going, thank God for that. It's just, it stopped, because I don't know where it would have gone.
Mm.
You know, I wasn't in control of anything in my life at that point. Not a
Mm.
thing, not a thing. There was no stopping me. The judicial system stopped me. And I loved it. I loved my last prison sentence. Once they found out I was you know, I'd had some film experience, I became the jail's filmmaker, and it felt,
I love that.
it felt so good to be back in it, like, you know, on a computer with a little camera, you know, nothing fancy, but, you know, the process. I go, oh, I know this. Oh, maybe I am a filmmaker. I forgot. You know, I forgot. Oh, maybe, yeah, I can do this. I really enjoy this. And, you know, I was making little films for the jail, and I was doing the radio show in the morning, the breakfast show, and in the afternoon they taught you falconry. So you'd walk around the jail with a falcon on your arm, and you'd throw it at a lamppost, and it was called walking the bird. And because you've got a bird on your arm, you could walk through any gate in the jail. You know, it was like I had more freedom in jail than I had outside.
Yes. Yeah, I can understand.
And I had a much better life in prison than the one I'd left behind.
And your
Um,
relationships with people presumably just strengthened and strengthened. Is that right?
yeah, as much as I can in prison, you know. But I, I actually went back. I got in touch with my old boss in the jail. I said, "Hey, it's been 10 years. This is last year. Hey, it's been 10 years since I've been in jail. Um, I'm doing this now. Can I come and visit? You know, can I come and see where you're up to? Maybe I'm in a position now to help you the way you helped me." And I did, and I went in, and there were lads there that were enjoying creating media and finding a way out of whatever hole they'd got themselves into with addiction and crime and all the rest of it that landed them in jail. They're finding a horrific, you know, a way out of their horrific lives with media, with creativity, the same way I did.